Kyber crystals are well known in Star Wars lore today. The concept of lightsaber crystals has been around for years, but they were first identified as Kyber crystals in the Youngling arc of the Clone Wars in 2012. Today we know them solely as the living crystals that power the weapon of a Jedi, but it was a long road to get there, and Kyber crystals originally had a very different role during the earliest development of Star Wars. As George Lucas was writing the first drafts of what would become A New Hope, a relic called a Kyber crystal, spelled K-I-B-E-R, was central to the plot. The Force, or the Force of Others as it was then called, existed in the story, and the Kyber crystal was able to collect and amplify the power of the Force within an individual. Many early versions of Star Wars involved the main character either having to find or deliver a crystal to his father whose strength in the Force was fading and required the relic to defeat evil. Some versions had the Kenobi character on his own quest to recover his personal Kyber crystal that had once been stolen. As with many elements of the original Star Wars story, the Force and a person's ability to harness its power were greatly simplified. The Force could eventually be wielded by an individual alone without the aid of any relic. But Lucas liked the idea, and it was included in the novel Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which at one point was initially the planned sequel for Star Wars, at least until the film became a massive success. Now spelled K-A-I-B-U-R-R, the Kyber crystal in this story was very similar to the original concept. If returned to a specific temple on the planet Mimban, it would increase a person's power in the Force 1,000-fold. In the book, Luke, Leia, and Vader race to gain control over the Kyber crystal. Despite Vader winning that race, he was still defeated by the combined efforts of Luke and Leia. Unfortunately, the crystal lost its power outside of the temple, but a properly cut shard of Kyber could be used to power a lightsaber. That story is now part of the Legends continuity, and Legends had many different lightsaber crystals during its time. Several various gems, including the Pearl of a Krayt Dragon, could be used to amplify and adjust the weapons. But when George was working on the 5th season of the Clone Wars, he decided to revisit Kyber crystals, now spelled K-Y-B-E-R. Now known as living crystals, Kyber was somehow connected to the Force itself. A Jedi youngling was required to find a crystal of their own and form a bond with it in order to construct their first lightsaber. The several options of Star Wars Legends were no more, and the singular Kyber crystal relic of Mimban was left behind. But the uses of Kyber crystals did not stop there. Lucas continued to develop the concept and planned an arc surrounding a massive crystal for the 6th season of the Clone Wars. Unfortunately, the series was cancelled and the episodes were unfinished, but the story reels can still be seen online. In them, we would have learned that Kyber crystals could also be used to power weapons of mass destruction. Rogue One would confirm exactly that by showing the Empire harvesting them for use in the Death Star's super laser. I'm sure we'll continue learning about Kyber crystals in the future, but I always think it's interesting to see how some of George Lucas's earliest ideas for Star Wars continue to evolve and find their way into Star Wars stories decades after their inception. But that's it for today. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.